Hi, folks. This is Dave Moore from Pep Radio News. Listen, I got to be clear with everybody. I've tried reading the news day in and day out, and it is becoming more and more of a struggle. Just so you're aware, if you hear me inserting information within our newscasts, it's entirely because I cannot read this news day in and day out and not get angrier and angrier with the crap we're reading. Simply put, it comes down to this. The incoming Trump administration is determined to wipe out diversity, equity, and inclusion. They're committed to wiping out the LGBTQ plus community. And for the 73 million people that voted in favor of the Trump administration, well, I got news for you folks. You're a minority. That's right. You're under 50%. You are not the majority in this country. There was no landslide. You will not hear this from other networks. We are a lone wolf out there with maybe two or three other broadcasters who are claiming that the incoming administration is nothing more than smoke and mirrors. And we're probably going to take a lot of heat for this, and that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. But it comes down to this. The news that we're getting on a daily basis is getting worse and worse. And frankly, the LGBTQ community is on notice. Folks, you've got to get your passports renewed. You have got to do everything you can to get across the border, even if it's for temporary residency in Canada, in Mexico, in the Dominican Republic. It doesn't matter where. Get out of the United States. Stop investing your money here. Stop spending your money here. It isn't worth it. Okay, there is absolutely nothing about the United States that is worth your time, your energy, or your effort. They have screwed us over since the day we were born, and they have not given us any inkling that that's going to change. It doesn't matter whether it's Democrats or Republicans, especially under the incoming incompetent administration of Donald J. Trump. The man is a worthless, feckless, garbage piece of shit. And the sooner the rest of this country admits that, the better. But unfortunately, they won't do that because they voted for him. So now we're stuck with the decisions we made. And here's the thing: in 1932, nobody challenged the Hitler administration, but by God, you know what? The United States did by 1945 when the Germans were throwing their hands in the air, yelling, "I surrender," which I'm hoping doesn't happen to us at the hands of the Canadians in what, 2037, when they come marching across our borders demanding that we surrender to the rest of the world because we put up with the right wing bullshit that is emanating from Washington, D.C. under Donald Trump. In 12 years, that's all it took to get rid of the Nazi administration in Nazi Germany. In 12 years, that would make it 2036. By the year 2036, this country will probably be begging for mercy because by then we should have gone through three additional presidential administrations. Will we? Well, it all depends. Will Trump surrender at the end of his current term, or will he come up with some cockamamie story about how he's entitled to serve another two, three, four terms because the Constitution, he'll find some loophole. But here's the thing, folks, we can't tolerate that. We can't put up with that. You cannot continue to allow the bastardization of the US Constitution or the people of the United States at the hands of a government that is going to throw away civil rights so haphazardly. Because whether you like it or not, it might be the transgender community surrendering its rights now, but in another 12 years, by God, it's going to be just about everybody else surrendering their rights. And I'm hoping it's Canada that comes marching across our border and not the Russians under Vladimir Putin. So you were warned. Okay, you were warned. We're the canaries in the coal mine. You can laugh at or diminish what uh, what some other folks have done over the years. You can diminish what Ellen DeGeneres has done over the years and say, "Oh, she was a meaningless individual whose vision for this country didn't matter." But here's the thing: she fled. She and Portia fled. They got out while they could. They fled to England, the last bastion for human rights and civil rights, which won't exist much longer in this country if we allow it to continue on the path that it's on. So if our newscasts seem odd, if I'm constantly swearing my way through them, if they are getting more and more cumbersome to read, it's entirely because none of the news that's coming through these days is good. None of it. I would encourage all of you who are listening, who are giving us a shot, get out while you can. You don't have a whole lot of time left. The sooner you leave, the better. Don't take my word for it. Just ask Portia de Rossi and Ellen DeGeneres or any of the other thousands of people, part of the LGBTQ community, who've packed up and fled, whether to Uruguay, the Dominican Republic, Canada, Mexico, those countries that Donald Trump is throwing up tariffs at. Yeah, those are the countries that people are fleeing to. And Trump thinks he's going to be saving people all sorts of money. At least that's what he's telling us, but he's not. Come on, those tariffs are paid by us, the consumers. So as soon as you think you're going to be saving money at the checkout aisle at Walmart, of all places, you're not. You're not. We warned you, folks. Do with our warning what you will. Laugh at us for now, but I'm telling you, within the next 10 years, you're wishing you had listened while the time was possible. Now, for now, take action, fight back, resist. Do not give them the courtesy nor the opportunity to continue to browbeat us and put us into submission, because we can't stand for that anymore. We certainly didn't stand for it in the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, and God knows we fought through this before. We can't continue to allow the Republicans that are coming in to destroy the government as fast as they're going to make a mockery of the presidential cabinet. My God, Linda McMahon for Department of Education? Are you kidding me? The woman's an idiot. Robert Kennedy Jr. has no business being near the Department of Health and Human Services. And equally absurd, Elon Musk anywhere near government. The man came from apartheid South Africa. Send him back to Africa and let them do with him what they will. My God, if given the opportunity, they would have slaughtered the man back in the 1990s. If only. Well, you're probably not going to listen to this either, but if you do, this is your last chance. Get out while you can. For Pep Radio News, good luck.